I had started filming and then I got a phone call. Can my camera stay? This is why you have a Bluetooth remote so that your camera is not shaking when you start and stop. Happy New Year! Wait, happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! How are you doing? I'm not very proud of how abruptly I stopped posting. I actually recorded a video on the last day of the year to post. It was going to be about my resolutions and end of year reflection, yada 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 yada, whatever. But I was tired because the day before New Year's Eve, I had to create content at the wedding, and I was exhausted. I was on my feet the entire day. My shoulders hurt, my back hurt, had hurt. They still kind of hurt, but like I was not in it. So the next day, which was New Year's Eve, I was able to sit and like rant, right? And then I spoke about some of my resolutions as well. But then when it came to time to edit it, when I got back home, I crashed. I slept. Ain't nothing to it. I slept and I was just tired, and so you know, I didn't end up doing it. But that's not the vibe. That's not it. That doesn't. I want to say things, but I'm not gonna because okay. So welcome to 2026. Welcome to what 2026 videos are going to look like from me henceforth. We're keeping it to a 10 to 12 minute maximum. I don't want to go beyond that because when it comes to editing really long videos, I realize how much that weighs down on me and I'm not able to get it done as soon as I can. We're going to start as I have with an intro. You can see this is going to be the setup for our YouTube videos going forward. I have some ideas of things that I want to explore. If you know anything about me, you probably know or don't know this, but I really, really enjoy commentary YouTube, which was one of the reasons why I even started YouTube in the first place because I was looking for a place to talk. I enjoy commentary subjects, but it just varies. Okay. I like to talk about like mundane things, things that you kind of just notice, but not social or cultural topics or like entertainment or politics, all of that. No, okay. I just want to rant about how I'm feeling about a particular subject that is being discussed, not about the people involved in the subject. Speaking of that, today's video is going to be about my kind of ins and outs for 2026 because people do that and yeah, it's also going to serve as me briefing you about the resolutions and things I spoke about and goals I spoke about in the video that I didn't end up posting. Happy New Year for Vlogmas. I said Happy New Year like 50 times. Maybe there should be counter somewhere that says Happy New Year. Like how many times I say Happy New Year. I was able to do 12 Vlogmas videos, 12 over 31. Terrible score. Terrible score. You didn't even reach half. Wow. Oh my god. But I did do something and I'm happy about that. I just need to be more disciplined going forward. I think it was the last day of the year, New Year's Eve, when I saw a TikTok video that kind of said, you have to learn to not work with the vibe or work with like the mission or the goal or something. I can't remember. But like it was something about how it doesn't matter how you feel. And I realized that it was my feelings that stopped me from posting majority of the days because I was feeling down. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to do it. Let me tell you gotta be strict out with yourself in 2026. Okay. Yes. You have to tolerate, your excesses. You have to treat yourself with care, with kindness, all of that. Also add discipline to the mix. Okay. Also add being strict to the mix because at some point you have to get it all together. You have to just right. So let's quickly talk about these ins and outs because I'm looking at the time and I'm 5 minutes into this video and I have not made my point. So for 2026, I have four overall goals. Some of these goals don't really pertain to work. They don't really pertain to like the things I do for money. They just pertain to being alive and living as a human being. Because one of the things I learned in 2025 was how little I know, especially about my body as a human being. There were things that seemed so obvious that it was just like, that is not obvious. Like, I like to boast about how I'm a person who doesn't fall ill very frequently. That is good. That is amazing. That means my immune system is up to something nice. However, why is my immune system up to something nice? Why is my immune system that good? What can I do to assist my immune system? Do I need to quit certain things to make sure my immune system stays up at this? I don't know any of that. And that's something I realized in 2025. I realized how my body just does things that pass by and I don't really acknowledge it. It doesn't really like register in my brain. And so that is why at the top of my At the top of my list, it is care about my health better. I want to have a proper diet. I want to have a proper like body movement routine, not necessarily a workout routine because genuinely I'm not going to the gym. I will not be saying gym this year. I want to have a proper like body movement routine. I want to have something proper that has to do with my mind. I just want to know my body like better. If there's one thing that the health people, industry, community have something in a grasp, it is about finding out details about your body and like documenting it and tracking it and all of that. And I like that. So noticing things about my body, documenting it, going to the hospital more genuinely. Like I don't need to just go to the hospital because I'm ill. I can also go to the hospital for like a checkup. I intend to get like full body and blood work done sometime in this month, first month of the year, just to like know my body. And that is a huge goal for me this year because as I grow older and wiser, it just makes sense for me to know myself better. Second on the list is I want to be more proactive and less reactive. I kind of noticed that every year before Q4 of 2025, there was this thing where I wasn't always ready for something that would happen to me. Like obviously I cannot predict every single thing that will happen to me. I cannot say, oh, I predict that a new job is gonna find me and so I'm going to be immediately qualified for said job when it decides to. No. But I realized that things would just come to me as a surprise. Everything was a surprise, everything was a shock. And so everything I did after anything happening was reactive. Like I was reacting to it. I never really had a plan for, okay, if something like this happens, this is how I would want to approach it. And so in 2026, I want to be able to assess things from a mile away. I want to have foresight. That is a goal for 2026. I want to have insane foresight where it's like being really good at piecing patterns together and being like, okay, when this happens, it is very likely that this is going to happen. And so this is something I can do in advance of this thing happening. I want to be more proactive, like doing things well in advance of when they actually happen and being less reactive. Third on the list, I want to take a course or a class on business strategy because genuinely I never want to go back to school. It is not a thing that is forefront of my mind. If I eventually go, sure, remember that human beings are dynamic and I'm allowed to change my mind at any point. Remember that. If you ever see me change my mind, remember I am a dynamic human being. I can change my mind at any time. It's flexible, it's fluid. I think the world of business excites me. Like it's complex, it's a lot of things, it fascinates me, all of that. But I also want to take something on business strategy because I want to do more strategic things in business. Also because I don't know what I want to do in my life. So that is something else to keep me busy, occupied, whatever. Next is to have a proper wind down routine. And this kind of relates to the very first one, which is like whenever I fall asleep with my phone in my hand, watching like a movie or a TikTok or watching a video or something. I usually just like find myself asleep. I never intend to fall asleep. And so something I want to do in 2026 because obviously it sucks to like pluck yourself out of a particular routine and dump yourself into a new one and expect yourself to adapt to it immediately. I want to gradually substitute things from my current routine and add new things in a like more stable routine. So I would want to like not necessarily journal. Let me tell you something about journaling. Journaling is unique to individuals. Not everybody has the ability to journal. You should be journaling with intention, not because the internet told you to journal. So I'm not much of a journaler. That's not English. That's not English. It can't even be English. But yeah, not necessarily journal or like oh, you have to do 10 stretches before bed or you have to do. I just want to have a proper routine that involves ending my day, ending my week, in fact, ending my month, ending so that when it comes to ending the year, I'm not struggling to pull like, oh, what did I do in January? Or what did I do in February? Or what did I do in March? Like if I'm able to wind down properly each day, it means that at the end of the week, I have something to look back on and be like, this is how this week went for me. At the end of the month, I can take a look at each week and be like, this is how this month went for me. And then at the end of the year, I can do an analysis, about my life. It makes sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to you. Lastly, genuinely is content. Content, like I literally wrote content or content. I've been flippant about my content journey, not really serious about it or anything genuinely because it's just been like, it's something fun to do. I think my major gripe with content is that I don't have anything to teach you about content. Oh, here are the 10 ways to become a content creator in 2026. You're not going to find that from me. I think my other thing is that everything is a performance. This right now, it's a performance for the camera. Every single thing you do is a performance. You just have to define what kind of performance you want to keep on putting out. So when it comes to content, my content has to be things that I really want to do. And in terms of things that I want to do, you look know I like talking. But what I'm learning is the things that I want to talk about. So what is going to not change genuinely? What is just going to happen is I'm going to now figure out the things that I want to talk about, how I want to talk about it, why I want to talk about it, because the why is also really important. Like why you do things is really important. Why I want to talk about it, and then how I can do it in a way that doesn't burn me out and make me feel crazy up here. So those are my ins for 2026. Actually, I never spoke about the outs. I think the outs would just be procrastination, laziness, working with like my feelings, working with the vibe and not the goal. So I want to work more with the goal. And the goal this year is to do. The goal this year is what? Is to do. That's why we're starting off strong with this video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very happy you were able to cross over into 2026 with me. I hope this year brings you everything you want, but more importantly, I hope this year brings you strength and brings you courage to do all the things you've been planning, all the things you've been putting off genuinely. I wish you the best, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.